Okay, this is the piping, the discharge piping for the water heater. And where we're at with this is that this is for the temperature pressure relief drain, and this is for the safety pan. Both of these should have 90-degree elbows pointing towards the ground. This one should not be any further from the ground than 12 inches, and it's not, but we're missing our 90-degree elbow. That's for the safety pan. For the water heater TP drain line, it should not be farther from the ground than 6 inches, and it is. It's too high from the ground, and we're missing our elbow fitting for the safety pan. The water heater's in the garage. The home faces south, so this would be the northwest corner of the garage, which is pretty obvious. It's in the garage. This is the water heater. What we're learning about this water heater is that it's manufactured in 2015, so it's 7 years old. It's in the second half of an estimated 10-year service life average, and it's a 40-gallon water heater. These are the drain lines that I was talking about. That's the one that has the broken 90-degree, and this is the one that terminates too high from the ground. This temperature pressure relief valve drain line, okay, I'm looking. It's compromised. It's compromised. See where somebody soldered that in, they sweat it to make it fit, which means that it's reduced. It's not supposed to be reduced. This is flow guard, so this is an acceptable product. I'm looking for the schedule on this one. It's 480. Yep, schedule 40. So that's an acceptable pipe. Not my favorite, but it's acceptable. But now we've gone on over here and we've compromised this. We've reduced the volume and it discharges too high. Water coming into the water heater. Let's look at that. We do not have discussion plates. We don't have discussion plates. We've got our flexible connectors. We're not supposed to solder piping this close to the tank. We're not supposed to do that. So we've got that issue going. Let's see what else have we got. Let's see if we can keep the joy going here. This is the electric service disconnect for the water heater, and I'm glad, we're glad that it's here. We are. It's not really necessary, but I'll put that back. But it's a disconnect. The fact that the electric service panel's over here means you don't have to have that disconnect. But somebody added it. That's it's not wrong. Except we do not have a connector right here. It's supposed to have a connector so this wire does not rub against the edge of that and cause a short. We're over here on the tank. We can see that we've got our ground wire, but we're supposed to have a connector on here so that it doesn't rub on the side of that tank and handle that. 17 inches up. We do not have a carrying use manual. So what do we learn about our 7-year, 40-year-old water heater? We learned that our electric service disconnects and our electric service connection do not have connectors to keep the protective wires from hitting the tank. We learned that the piping coming to the water heater does not have escutcheon plates on the walls. We learned that we soldered this tube too close to the water heater tank. We learned that we've compromised our drain line. We learned that we do not have a care and use manual, and we learned that both of our drain pipes do not discharge properly. One is too high and one is missing its 90-degree elbow. Now, why is this soldered too close? And these should be insulated. These should be insulated. The water supply lines to and from the water heater should be insulated. It's not very warm. I wonder how that's working. I wonder how it's working for us. Okay, not very warm at all, huh? Okay, so this should be insulated. This should not have been soldered this close to the tank. Now, I get it. You got nipples here. You probably soldered it and then screwed it on. But the fact is, you got a plastic dip tube that goes in here. So the cold water goes to the bottom of the water heater, fills it up with all 40 gallons before the hot water comes out. And if that wasn't soldered over here on the garage floor and then installed later, if it's installed in place, it could have, we don't know, melted the dip tube. So the dip tube falls down and we have a short circuit so we do not get all 40 gallons of the water. That's why they have that rule. It was probably done all right. I don't know that. All I know is it's soldered too close to the tank.